On the bench today is the Epiphone 1959 Les Paul standard electric guitar. I really can't tell you how many times I had this guitar in my shopping basket over the past year. It was between the Tobacco Burst and the ebony version with the gold hardware. I know I've said many times in videos before that I hate gold hardware on a guitar, but I think the ebony Les Paul would be the exception to that rule. In the end, the Tobacco Burst won me over. There's something visceral about a Les Paul and a Tobacco Burst finish for me. I absolutely love this finish and look. Over the years, I've owned 4 of them in this finish. I was intrigued and pleased when I had heard that Epiphone had released models of guitars with a Gibson R9 Open Book shaped headstock. Don't get me wrong, I think Epiphones are excellent guitars, and I have probably about a dozen of them in my collection. I love them, but I do not like the headstock shape. It took me a long time to buy this guitar because I could not bring myself to pay the retail price of $1,299. I figured that if I waited a year, that I'd be able to pick up a new one for significantly less. I was right. Finally, I was able to find a new one from a small dealer for just under $1,000, so I was able to move forward with the purchase. The guitar comes with a very nice Gibson-style pink and brown hardshell case with Epiphone and Gibson Custom Shop logos stenciled on the outside. Retail new, this case without the stenciling goes for over $200. The case candy is more Epiphone-like and not Gibson-like, as it does not have the baby picture and certificate like a new Gibson guitar would. The weight is manageable for a Les Paul guitar at 8 pounds and 4.8 ounces, or 3.76 kilos. Measuring for DC resistance on the pickups, the bridge pickup measures 7.76 k ohms, both pickups together measure 3.89 k ohms, and the neck pickup by itself measures 7.81 k ohms. The pickups are Gibson custom buckers. Gibson describes these as the closest pickups that they make that capture the original 1950s PAF tone. The pickups have Alnico 3 magnets and are unpotted, meaning no wax. Unpotted pickups sound more vintage, they're brighter, have a more open or airy sound, but they're also microphonic and susceptible to corrosion from environmental factors. Gibson USA hand widens these pickups, and as a result, no 2 pairs of the pickups will sound the same. They're standard issue equipment on Gibson Custom Shop historic reissue guitars. If you're wondering why Epiphone charges $1,299 for this guitar new, this is probably a big contributor. A set of matched custom bucker pickups by themselves goes for $489 retail new. The body is made of mahogany with a carved hard maple cap with AAA figured maple veneer. It's finished with a VOS, which stands for Vintage Original Sheen, polyurethane finish, and has cream binding. You shouldn't get this VOS finish confused with what Gibson uses on their guitars, though. I've actually read in forums and so on where I think that people mistakenly believe that this finish is nitrocellulose lacquer based. It is not. On the Epiphone website, in the specifications listing for the guitar, they list the finish as VOS, Vintage Original Sheen Polyurethane. To be honest, I completely understand. At first, I thought it was a nitro-based finish as well. It is really difficult to find anywhere on the web the exact composition of the finish. This was the only reference that I found, and it's on a reputable source. The neck is made of mahogany with a rounded 59 style C shape. The fretboard is made of Indian laurel with 22 medium jumbo frets, 12-inch or 304.8 millimeter radius, and a scale length at 24.75 or 628.65 millimeters. The nut material is Graphtec New Bone, with a width of 1.692 inches or 43 millimeters. The inlay is trapezoid. The Indian laurel fretboard to me is kind of confusing as to why Epiphone did not use rosewood. Everything about this guitar is premium, except for this. More on this later. The bridge is an Epiphone Locktone ABR-1. The tailpiece is an Epiphone Locktone stop bar. The knobs are gold top hats with dial pointers, and the tuners are Epiphone Deluxe Vintage tuners with Keystone style buttons. The controls are standard Les Paul, 2 volume, 2 tone. It comes with a Switchcraft 3-way toggle pickup selector switch, CTS pots, yellow Mallory capacitors, and 50 eras wiring. The guitar sells for $1,299 new, and used it goes for between $825 to $1,050 depending upon condition. My observations. The electronics are as promised and described. As I said before, they consist of CTS pots, Switchcraft 3-way pickup selector switch, Switchcraft 1/4-inch output jack, yellow Mallory capacitors, and all of it is put together in a 50 style wiring harness. The only thing I would say is it doesn't look very neat. There's a lot of wiring in there, and it doesn't look like something that just came from the factory. Overall, I like the look and finish of the guitar, and I find the workmanship to be excellent. I cannot find any flaws anywhere on the body or neck. The vintage original sheen finish does look and feel like the finish you would find on an aged Gibson guitar. The feel of the neck and playability is nice, and comparable to my Gibson Les Pauls with 50 style profile necks. The guitar is comfortable to play with a smooth neck and easy to fret action. I don't think it's appropriate though for a guitar in the $1,299 price range, not having rosewood and having Indian laurel instead. The fretboard is okay and almost looks like a nice rosewood neck, but it's a little rougher, and Indian laurel always looks like it is thirsty for some oil. And there's competitors out there that are producing guitars that quite honestly cost half of this, that have comparable components and are putting them out with rosewood necks. I found only a single issue with the frets. The 13th fret on the treble side is a little high and needs to be filed down. The edges of the frets are smooth. The volume knob for the neck/rhythm pickup came off easily in my hand, and I needed to spread the split shaft slightly so it would stay on securely. The pickup selector switch is a little stiff when you're trying to either switch into the bridge treble pickup position or switch out of the bridge treble pickup position. The bridge and tailstop are well made and solid components. The nut height, string height, and intonation were all set properly from the factory. This is a rock and roll machine. The pickups can be warm and have great tone, but they are best living in the world of overdrive, fuzz, and distortion. And quite honestly, they literally are the soul of this guitar. I think this is a fairly well-made, very playable guitar that simulates the experience of playing a higher-end Gibson, and I like it very much, and it does this for a lot less money.